And to our graduating class, congratulations. It is time for you to go forth with your degrees and work in the workforce. Except for you, who made millions of dollars in real estate while you were just going to college. I need you to come and speak to me. I've got some questions. How did you do that?
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
You know, when I was in college, I was a voracious reader, but not so much of my textbooks. I was busy reading other books when I should have been in class. This one by Dolph Bruce called Real Estate Riches. He was one of Robert Kiyosaki's, financial advisors. I learned so much about money in the game of finance while I was in college, but I didn't just stop there. I put it into practice. Bought my first home when I was a sophomore. I bought my next home as a junior. As a senior, I started buying homes left and right. And today I'm going to show you literally how much money you can make in college, even to the tune that maybe when you graduate, you don't got to go and get a job.
I quit!
So whether you're currently in college, prepping for college, or maybe you're already done with college, today's going to be a fun video because I'm going to share with you a 5-year game plan based on this question. Can you actually become wealthy buying homes as a college kid? I mean, you know that I did it, but there's a lot of other college-age kids that are asking me all the time, am I too young to do this? Can I actually do this right now? Isn't college like the perfect period of time in your life to explore careers? Did you know right now that the highest paying undergraduate degrees are the following? Computer engineering, $69,000. You got petroleum engineering at $67,000. Looks like more engineering at $67,000, and industrial engineering, chemical engineering. Bottom line, if you want to just go to college for 4 years, which takes most people 5, then you get one of these 5 degrees if you got an engineer mindset, and looks like you stand to make more or less the most money without going back to college for more money in more years. So unless you want to be an engineer and make this kind of money, or pick any of the other undergraduate degrees and make less money, we're going to talk about a fun game. What if I could take this money and double it while I'm literally in college with a brand new career called real estate investing? To do so, you would literally be making $150,000 a year. And if you were, don't you think you'd reconsider some of your career options in life? You know, when you get started in college, before you can take your advanced courses, you got to start with your generals. And then for fun, you get to take electives, right? They want you to be a balanced, well-rounded human being. Maybe you want to take social dance, find someone purty to dance with. Today, I'm the professor, and I'm going to be sharing with you the elective course you should be doing on the side while you're in college. And that course is called Real Estate Investing. And it starts with this. It is a 5-year house hacking plan because studies show that if you go to college, it's going to be at least 5 years. Be prepared. The plan that I'm about to give you is the exact same plan that I followed, and literally by the time I graduated college, I quit my job because I had a 6-figure residual income in the houses that I owned. So if you're ready to get started, class is in session, and this is your first homework assignment. Number 1, you got to find a way to creatively work towards and save up $6,000. And why $6,000? Well, it's so that you can buy a house with an FHA loan with a 3% down payment. Literally, you could be a college kid and you've got this job that you've been doing on the side, and after 2 years of work history, the bank would literally allow you to use that to come in with a 3% down payment. In your situation, could be $6,000 to buy your first house. Kris, you want me to have a job while I'm going to college? Yes, get a part-time job. And you're not doing that for just the $6,000. It's because what you're going to do during those 2 years is you're going to actually get work history so that you can present to the bank that you're the kind of person that can keep a job in the same industry for 2 years. You, of course, want to use a couple of credit cards, keep them paid off. That'll allow you to establish your credit. And bottom line is, after 2 years, if you got that $6,000, you can go buy a house. Now that might mean $15 an hour work, 40 hours a week on the side, pushing. Dude, look how sad this fake graphic is. But that would be $31,000 a year. That's enough to qualify. Or you could do something a little bit more hip. Side hustle. You could literally, and like I've said in other videos, you could mow lawns, clean up dog poop for $10 a house per week or whatever. There's so many different ways to get creative and make money. Remember, I need 2 things. $6,000. Your professor also needs you to have a 2-year work history. Now, it might seem a little bit odd to think that keeping a job for 2 years while you're in college, even if it's part-time, so that you can get that 2-year work history and save up $6,000 and use your credit responsibly. It may not seem like you're making any progress because during that time, you're not buying a house, but I assure you that that is still to this day the most important step that I took that led to me buying my 1,000th house. After 2 years, you've finished some generals, you've had some fun electives, and guess what? You're ready for your first real semester's test. It is to buy your very first house. And when you do it, here's the cool part. When you buy it, you get to live for free. Because either you're going to buy it as like a duplex or a basement that you can rent out, or for heaven's sakes, just pick up 3 or 4 roommates. You know they're paying $300 or $400 a month wherever they're staying. You might as well have 3 or 4 of them. I had a buddy of mine that literally had 5 other roommates in the house. He was making like $1,000 a month above his mortgage. Now the next assignment is definitely not going to take a lot of work because the house is going to do it for you. It's called building equity. From Investopedia, they say home equity is the value of the homeowner's interest in their home. The amount of equity in a house fluctuates over time as more payments are made on the mortgage and market forces impact the current value of the property. Let me give you an example of exactly what this looks like. See, when you buy this house and you go with an FHA 3% down, you're basically going to agree in most situations to a 30-year mortgage. Now, a 30-year mortgage means there will be 360 months of payments. Every month for 360 months, that's 30 years, you're going to get this thing paid off. And when you make a payment, there's a part of that money that goes towards principal and a part that goes towards interest. Now, I want you to understand it because there's 2 ways that you're going to build equity in this house. Here's the first one. Your tenants are going to do it for you as you get the house paid off. You see, let's just say in theory that your payment is $1,000 a month. Well, the bank says, shoot, $900 of that is going to go towards interest, but we're going to have $100 of that go towards principal. Well, that month, when your roommates make their payments and you pay your mortgage, the value of that house, what you owe on it, it's going to go down $100. What you owe is going to decrease by $100. And the next month, it'll actually be like $889 and $111. In other words, over time, you're going to have less go towards interest. You're going to have more go towards principal. That's called an amortization schedule. To keep it really simple, every month when you make a payment, more of that house is getting paid off. But something else is happening. It's called appreciation. Appreciation means that this house that you bought for $200,000, the next year is now worth $220,000 because our crazy market, it went up $20,000. Maybe the next year it goes up $10,000. Maybe the year after it goes up $15,000. A lot of people just by holding homes and waiting, living in them and renting in them and living for free, you let 5 years pass by, that house may have gone up $50,000 in value, or like today, it might go up $100,000 in value. That's literally money that you put in your pocket if you were to sell this property. Bottom line, your $6,000 you originally put down represented 3%. 97% of that loan is a debt. But with a little bit of passing of time, with some appreciation and your tenants helping pay that house down, you get to a point where you have a 20% equity position, which means you only owe 80%. And it can happen really fast in an appreciating market like this. And you're wondering, okay, Kris, the house's equity has increased, meaning what it's worth and what I owe, that gap is widening. How can I tap some of that money to help me buy more real estate? Well, check this out. Pay attention. For the test, you're going to want to know this one. It's called a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. This is something that the bank will extend to you when you have equity in a home. It's money you can pull out and use to buy another house. HELOCs are a revolving source of funds, much like a credit card that you can access as you choose. Unlike home equity loans, they tend to have few, if any, closing costs, and they usually feature variable interest rates. In most cases, the interest rates on a home equity line are super, super low. The money is cheap. And you know what? You could pull out enough money for a 3% down payment on another primary residence and move, or you might have enough equity to pull it out and do a full 20% down payment on an investment property that you're not going to live in. Basically, your house had babies, right? You started with one, and then it made two. And frankly, this is the birds and the bees of real estate. You want these things to multiply like rabbits. Now, of course, we're halfway through the semester, and it's now time for you to really get your game on. You finished a lot of your generals. We're going to take some advanced coursology right now. For example, 2 homes becomes ba-boom. They doubled. You see what happened, the birds and the bees. You went from 2 houses to 4 houses. Now, here's why this is awesome. This house you're living in and your tenants, your roommates, they're paying it for free. That's pretty cool. But guess what's over here? Could be 4, 5, or 6 other tenants. It could be a family. It could be someone doing a lease option. If you didn't know that I wrote a book about this called The Strait Path to Real Estate Wealth. I actually teach people how to do lease options. Bottom line, it's like selling the house and making a whole grundle of money. But here's the point. These 4 houses, guess what we're going to want to do? Double them again so that you have 8. Double again until you have 16. In fact, you want to let this go faster and faster and faster until this happens. You're not just graduating with the degree so that you could enter the workforce. You're graduating with 25 properties. You're graduating with a pile of money. How much money? Check it out. You see these 25 properties? Well, if they're each paying you $500 a month, then on 25 homes, that's $12,500 a month. Guess what that does? That puts you right at $150,000 a year. It's not just likely more than your professor makes, but that's actually double what engineers, the highest paying undergraduate degrees, are actually leaving and going into the workforce with. Look at how much you've done in such a short period of time in such a short video. You know, when I was in college, this book inspired me. It was my textbook. This right now, however, this is the updated one. When I wrote this book, it was to show you how you get to 25 homes step by step. Obviously, I gave you an overview of the semester. What I'm doing right here is for free, I'm going to give you this textbook. It is not a $200 book. I do ask that you cover the super cheap shipping and handling, but if you click the link below, I'm going to literally have someone from my office ship this out to you, and I promise you, it'll take you a couple hours, and when you read it, it'll show you, it's the perfect manual for anyone, how they make their first several $1 million in the game of real estate. Are you ready? Links below. Let's go. You know, I got my college degree, and for me, it was a period of time in my life to self-explore. It was an opportunity to figure out what do I want to do with my life. And while I was investigating a lot of different possible degrees, and while I did end up with a degree, I really got my School of Hard Knocks real estate degree in the background. I did buy those 25 homes by the time I graduated. They did make me financially free, and I never needed to get a job. So I know it's real, I know it's possible, and I've had other people do it, and there's no reason why you can't do it too. You see, though, college is also a great time to read a lot of different kind of books, and I recommended one book that you can get for free by clicking the link below. Turns out that there are 5 books in total that I actually recommend as a must read for you to increase your financial genius and frankly get well on your way of becoming a multimillionaire. So click this link, watch this video, and let me share with you my top 5 most recommended financial books. You kids have never sat so still in your whole entire freaking life. Never won some money classes. Something. All right. I need